Edad, numero lang yan.
At my age, I've only been getting stronger.
You see, I'm built for more. More intensity to stay in shape. More energy for new experiences.
More endurance to reach greater heights. And more passion in doing what I love. These days, I live for more.
Sante Barley.
Mahalagang paalala, ang Santi Barley ay hindi gamot at hindi dapat gamitin panggamot sa anumang uri ng sakit.
Kuya Kim, ano ba talaga?
Magandang araw sa inyong lahat. Welcome to Ano Ba Talaga with Kuya Kim. Ito pong podcast na to, we've been on air for about maybe 4 months already. Medyo bago-bago pa itong podcast na to. But you've been showing us so much support. Maraming salamat po. Constantly, we've been up in the charts and that's because of your support. Susubukan namin. We'll do our best to give you the best. As we always say sa podcast na to, we talk about anything under the sun, pero dapat merong audience takeaway. Pagkatapos yung makinig ng podcast ito, dapat may natutunan kayo, na-inspire kayo, at naaliw kayo. So today, itong ating mga guest, napaka-timely po nito because it's been about maybe 5 weeks since my dear daughter Emansky passed away. And within the 5 weeks, I have been grieving, my family has been grieving, and a lot of people who love my Eman has been grieving. Ang guest natin ngayon, mga grief experts. Mga napakaraming pwedeng sabihin tukol sa grief o tukol sa pagluluksa. Alam nyo, itong guest natin, isang book author din. She has written many books on grief, and one of them is Between Loss and Forever, among the other books that she's written. And she gives advice, she gives counseling to those who need it. Si Cathy Sanchez Babao at ang kanyang asawa na si Mark Philbrick. Guys, thank you very much. Maraming salamat for being with me today.
Thank you, Kim. Thank you,
at this time in my life when I need
Yes, yeah.
I need support as much as I can. So thank you so much.
Thank you for inviting us here and sharing.
Trivia muna tayo ha. Si Cathy Sanchez Babao, kung nakikita niyo mukha po siyang artista dahil ang nanay niya ay isa sa mga icon ng showbiz sa Pilipinas. Walang iba kundi si Caridad Sanchez. Yan. Tapos sa mga Gen Z, hindi nyo na inabot si Tita Caridad eh. Pero ako po, since I'm a TV baby, since the 70s, 80s, 90s, and early 2000, siya ang quintessential na nanay sa telebisyon. Palaging nanay ang role. Caridad Sanchez.
Depende sa age group. Sa age group natin, nanay. Susunod, lola ng
na.
bayan. Yeah, lola ng bayan.
And then si Mark Philbrick naman, the husband of Cathy, was a palliative nurse for many years. So sanay siya na nag-nurse siya dun sa mga malapit ng mabawian ng buhay, malapit ng mamatay. And because of you being a nurse for many years, you've learned so many things about how to deal with death and people who are left behind.
Yes, it's inevitable in the nursing career. I just completed 50 years as a nurse, and my last 17 years was focused on hospice and palliative care, end-of-life care, caring for and training other nurses and healthcare professionals how to better care for people at end of life, which obviously leads into grief and loss and helping navigate that end-of-life journey.
Cathy and Mark, define grief. What is grief?
Well, grief is the constellation of emotions na you feel after you've experienced a loss, no? And when we say loss, Kim, it's not just loss to death, but any type of loss. Loss of a friendship, loss of a marriage, loss of a job. So kung ano yung mga emosyon na nararamdaman mo after, that is what is called grief.
So, kunyari, nakipag-split ka sa asawa mo o sa girlfriend mo, that's also called grieving.
Yes.
Ang paniniwala kasi ng marami, grief is when you lose because of death.
Death, yes. Pero hindi. Grief results from any type of loss. You will experience grief whenever you experience loss.
How does one deal with grief?
Well, if we focus on the death part, or kahit hindi death, you need to have a period of mourning. Okay, no? So, how do we differentiate grief from mourning? So, if grief like, okay, this cup, right? This cup of water in front of me. So, grief is the water inside. What emotions do you experience when you're grieving? Sadness, anger, anxiety, hopelessness. That's the water. When we say mourning, mourning is the act of pouring the water from the cup. So, para makapag-move forward tayo, kailangan binubuhos natin yung tubig. Diba? Hindi pwedeng nandyan lang. You can't just bottle it all up inside.
Anong mangyayari pag hindi mo binuhos ng tubig?
Well, pwedeng the bottom will fall out. The water, diba, turns stale. It won't taste good after a while.
So, ang advice mo, Cathy and Mark, pag tayo ay grieving, mas maganda pag marunong tayo mag-mourn o ilabas yung ating emosyon.
Yeah, mourning is a necessary part of grieving. Hindi ka mag-move forward kung hindi mo minomorn ng maayos yung loss mo.
Are there many kinds of mourning? O ang mourning ba'y dapat umiiyak ka lamang?
Hindi naman. There are many ways to mourn the person that you've lost, or the person that you once loved who's no longer there. Diba? Crying is one of them. One way, journaling, talking to people, talking to healthcare providers, or talking to therapists, or doing acts of like creativity, art, writing, drawing. Kailangan meron kang outlet na healthy. Importante na healthy ang outlet.
Mark, they say that grieving comes in waves. I actually know this from experience.
Yes.
Ngayon lang natatawa ko, mag-aang. Pero maaring sa gitna ng podcast ito, baka may maalala ko, I may remember something that will remind me of my Eman, and I'll start crying. Why is that so?
Well, because it's not a once and done type of emotion. There are many things that can trigger what we call grief ambush. You could be walking in a grocery store. One that hit me, my mom died when I was 21 years old, and a couple of years ago, I was making a particular type of toast that I had found that I hadn't had since I was a kid. And when I toasted that and smelled that, it triggered the emotions of my mom serving me that particular type of bread, toasted that particular wave 40 years later, and I was ambushed by grief. So it can trigger emotions that you never get over grief. You can get through it, but people who try to get around it or bury it, eventually it's like the tide, it will come back. And we can work our way through it, but it's not something that we can just make believe it's not there and it will go away on its own. Time does not always heal all wounds.
It's what you do with the time that will heal the wound.
Tita Cathy, I don't want to call you Tita because you're not naman, you're Cathy na lang.
Cathy na lang.
Cathy,
Okay.
the way I deal with my grief kasi is, it's been 3 weeks, no? For 3 weeks, I allowed
So
myself
new.
to cry. I allowed myself, of course, just to wake. I still allow myself to cry now.
You must. Yeah.
But working also takes care of my grief because it gives me a sense of routine. I work out. My routine in working out, I got back this week because it helps me remove the heavy feeling in my heart. Is that valid? Or, as you said, baka pagdating ng panahon, lalabas na naman yan.
Well, very good that you're able to, do work and that you find work helpful and that you're back to your workout routine, which is helpful too, no? Because to begin with, grief takes so much out of you. That's why it's called grief work, diba? Ang daming energy that you expend and all that. So it's also important that I asked you earlier, are you able to rest? Have you rested? Diba? That you have these periods of rest that you allow yourself, like in a day, diba? To just sit. What we say, to just sit with your grief and you allow yourself to be sad, di ba? Ang ayaw natin yung you're using work as a distraction because many people do that. It's good to distract yourself, but not that you distract yourself always. Yung gusto mong lagi kang may ginagawa kasi ayaw mong nag-iisip ayaw mong naiisip, that we do not
don't recommend
want.
that.
We
Yeah.
don't recommend that. We
Yeah.
don't encourage that. So far, if like your sleep is okay and you're eating well, these are like hallmarks, di ba?
That I'm okay.
Yeah, that you allow yourself to
Yeah.
cry when you feel like crying, then
Yeah.
that's good.
You know, Cathy and Mark, because I'm a Christian and I've been praying a lot. A lot. They say that the Lord is close to the brokenhearted. He saves those who are crushed in spirit. I have never felt the Lord as close to me now.
Yes.
It's palpable. I feel Him. And I never felt Him as close now that I'm grieving. In your experience, does prayer work?
Oh, definitely.
What a
Definitely.
question to ask. It's not to ask that from an
Right.
objective point of view.
Right.
But what a question to ask because it works for me. It's the only thing that works for me. You know, I've been getting so much good sleep. I've been sleeping 7, 8, 9 hours, and I've never done that in my life. And when I close my eyes, I think of the Lord. And I think of how He's there by my side, like singing to me to fall asleep. He's that close now.
Right.
And He's never been that close in my life ever.
That's wonderful. I mean, that's
It's because I'm
wonderful.
grieving. Yeah.
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 The Lord's always close to us, but especially, right,
When you're
when we
brokenhearted.
are broken, when we are, brokenhearted. It's in the Bible, right? And Jesus wept,
Yeah, that's the shortest verse in the Bible.
right?
Jesus
But the
wept.
one, for me, it's one of the most powerful.
And Jesus wept
Yes.
Yeah.
just before He raised Lazarus from the dead.
And He was going to raise Lazarus.
Yeah.
He knew
But He
that
still
he
wept.
He
Yes.
wept because, like the Bible says, rejoice with those who rejoice and weep with those who weep. And one of the challenges we've seen in the grief work we've done here with many Filipinos is the cultural norm to be strong.
Yeah.
Yes.
And especially with the eldest in the
Eldest.
family, that they have, the kuya, they have to be strong for the
Kuya,
family.
ate.
And they
Yeah.
don't allow themselves to grieve or mourn openly.
With the
And
family.
eventually it comes out. Or if it doesn't come out, they get bottled up in emotions that,
It becomes anger.
yes.
Or
Or,
maybe
or
depression.
illness. Yeah, or depression. Yeah.
So what are the cases that normally you deal with in your grief work? Kadalasan, anong pinakamadalas na encuentro nyo?
Well, mostly, I would say 65% of the caseload, if you can call it, is really lost due to death. Pero marami rin yung transitions, like marriages breaking up,
Yeah.
or like children with issues with, parent-child issues, ganyan. That can also result in grief, right? So, yeah. But among the deaths, usually it's the, how would I say, sudden, or the complicated
Oh my gosh,
ones. Yeah. Kasi I've been asked that
Kasi
question.
nagulat ka eh. Mahirap
Yeah.
eh. Oo.
I've been asked that question. Ano ba yung mas masakit? Yung nakapagpaalam ka o yung bigla, di ba? Like accident, like what you just went through, di ba? The pain is the same. There's no comparing. Pain is the same.
Yeah.
What magnifies it, if we were to call it that, is the shock factor. Yung bigla. Di ba? Kasi talagang you didn't see it coming eh. Right? Versus, if your child was in the hospital or matagal nang may sakit, yon, kesa sa yung sudden. It's the suddenness really that parang, makes it, magnifies it. Yeah.
Some experts say that there's no exact way to grieve. What can you say about this?
Yeah, we each find our own way. That's why you should never compare, di ba? Even in a room full of, like, let's say, bereaved parents, they will each mourn, differently because they had different relationships with their children, even in one family who share one loss. No, like, let's take your case. No, you lost Eman, but even you and your wife will mourn differently.
We do more differently.
Yes, your children.
Yeah.
They will have, because they had different relationships with Eman. So one child will go this way, another child will go the other way. And the important thing is to be respectful and patient of each other's grieving patterns.
So just allow.
Yes, just allow. Oo, as long as wala namang sinasaktan, 'di ba? Wala namang naaapektuhan, they're not also being harming themselves, then you just let them. Yeah.
Another important thing is that as an individual, you rarely will grieve the same way twice, depending upon who you lose.
Yeah.
So it depends on who you lose.
Yes,
And
and
I
your
would grieve
relationship.
differently from my dad, and I would
Yes.
grieve differently from my mom. Iba-iba.
Yes,
Iba-iba
yes.
yan.
Absolutely.
Okay. Why is that so?
Because it's related to how we are bonded to that particular individual. I mean, I don't know if you've seen recently, Jimmy Kimmel lost
Yes.
his band leader.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they were
Yeah.
friends
He was
since
crying on Instagram.
9 years old. And it struck me that loss, which he wasn't a family member, was probably more profound for him because of the depth of the relationship and the length of the relationship he had with that person.
Yes.
So
Yeah.
it's much linked to how we grieve and how we handle that grief according to the love relationship
Right.
we've had with that individual.
Yeah. Exactly.
This book that you wrote, no, Between Loss and Forever.
Yes.
What was your inspiration in writing this book, Cathy?
This was actually after my son died, a few years after my son died, I went back to graduate school to earn my master's in psychology. So this is actually my undergraduate thesis.
Okay. So
Yes.
where did you take up your psychology? Ateneo.
In Miriam.
In Miriam.
Yeah, my undergrad is Ateneo, but I went to Miriam
Siguro
for
when
my
you took
graduate
your
school.
undergraduate in Miriam, Merinol pa ang tawag natin nun.
Merinol pa yan. I still consider it Merinol to this day.
That's Mark knows
yes.
that.
Yes.
Ito, Merinol.
Yeah. He's been parang like, okay.
It's the old name of Miriam College.
Yes.
So
Yes,
Merinol. For
Merinol.
those who are the same age as us, we call it
Yes,
Merinol,
Merinol.
but the Gen Zs call it Miriam
Miriam
College.
College. Yes.
So you lost your son.
Yes, this was in 1998
Okay.
when I lost my son. So I went
And
back
how old was your son?
4.
He was 4.
He was 4. He was born with a congenital heart condition, and we really expected that he would undergo heart surgery at some point. So he had the heart surgery when he was age 2, but that was not open heart. No, it was a palliative procedure. And then when he was age 4, he really needed to have the open heart. He had complications. He went into a coma for 2 weeks, and then he passed away after 2 weeks. And I was pregnant 6 months when he died.
Wow. How did you deal with that kind of loss? What was your grief like?
Oh yeah, that was like up down every day, and I was conscious of you can't be parang iniisip ko at that time, can't be super sad because I was
Because you're
pregnant,
another
right?
one,
I didn't want to lose the baby. So it was like hard. So what I did was I started researching on this thing called grief, what to expect, what can I do to help myself. And in my research, I found a mentor. So I took a course in the dynamics of grief with the University of Indiana.
Indiana.
Yes, during that time, starting from when I just gave birth to my child who was also a son.
And I'm sure it was very difficult for you because you still had postpartum and you were still grieving. It must
Yeah.
have been a compounded kind of grief.
Alam mo, by the grace of God, I did not have
Postpartum.
postpartum. Yes. I guess tama na siguro because I was already like grieving my son, and then I was given another son, right, to take care of. So,
But I'm amazed with your partnership, being husband and wife, at the same time being grief experts. How did you meet? And did you seek each other out because you're both experts in grief?
We
So you
met-
can help people in grief?
we met online during the pandemic.
Oh, naku.
Yes, we met online.
Online dating pala yun?
Yes, online dating.
Okay. and
Online
then?
dating. Yeah, it's a pandemic like that, so he'd been there, and then ako naman parang, okay, let's try this, online dating thing.
Okay.
Right?
And Mark, you were in the States.
Yeah,
Yes,
I
he
was
was
in
in
the
the
States,
States.
and it was eHarmony was the platform.
eHarmony.
Yeah.
And it's
Is this
it's
the dating app
Yeah,
for
dating app.
movers?
to me, it was more of a relationship app because unlike some of these sites where you just post a
Yes,
picture and
yeah.
a couple paragraphs,
Yeah.
this had like 100 questions you had to go through.
Oh, it's really for
And has an
movers. Okay.
algorithm
Yes.
to narrow down compatibility.
Okay.
And our compatibility score was 104 out of 100.
Yeah.
So
That's pretty high.
very high.
May bonus pa, di ba? 104%.
Oo
When
nga.
I saw
Margin of error na lang yung 4. Actually, 100 yan.
and when I saw Cathy, her profile talked about some of her work, and I thought, wow, a grief counselor, and I do hospice, and I had been leading grief support groups in the United States, and so I said, well, Google Mark Philbrick Hospice to learn about me. I Googled her and just saw her work and her articles and her stories, and immediately we just had so much in common and connection.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it was love at the time of COVID.
Love in the time of COVID. Yes.
And how did you finally see each other? There was a lockdown then.
Yeah.
So you had to wait for a couple of years.
7 months, we were like LDR, long distance. No?
LDR.
Yeah, LDR morning. It's just the East Coast. So
Cathy, when you talk, para kang Gen Z, eh?
kailangan, di ba?
We
LDR.
called
Yeah,
it
LDR.
we'd have Brinner.
Brinner.
So I'd
breakfast
eat
here,
breakfast
dinner
while she was
there.
having dinner here in the
Yeah,
Philippines.
yeah,
and
yeah.
12 hours apart, and we actually did books together.
Yes, we watched
watched
movies together.
remotely, and
yeah. For 7 months.
You know, this is so nice. I think we need another podcast to talk about your
Online dating.
your romance and how you met each other, because
Yeah.
it's interesting.
Yeah.
And then it so happens that you're both into grief counseling, and
Yeah.
then
Yes.
purpose.
Yeah, purpose.
Purpose.
Actually.
God brought you together for
Actually.
good purpose.
Yes.
And now you're helping so many people with their grief.
Yeah. Thank you.
Back to grief.
Okay.
Is it true that grief kills?
A broken heart can kill. Yes, there is a medical condition called broken heart syndrome. Takotsobo, that's the scientific name. And
Takotsobo.
Takotsobo, yeah. And it often happens after deep grief or yung intense
Yeah.
na pain. They've seen it. The studies show that.
And there's also evidence where, and you've probably seen this, where people have been married for many years and decades, and one spouse dies, and shortly after
follow.
another dies.
Yes.
They follow, yeah.
they follow.
Yeah, that happens in the Philippines so often. Oh, so
It
there's a
happens.
medical term for it. It's called
Yes,
takotsobo.
takotsobo. Yeah,
And
broken
then
heart
normally
syndrome.
it happens because they have a heart attack. Is that the cause?
Hindi naman. Not people, sorry. When you have takotsobo, it doesn't necessarily mean that you're gonna die. But, it's a syndrome, broken heart syndrome, that is often seen in people who have just undergone a major loss, or something that put them into deep grief, whether through death or through like a financial whatever or end of a relationship. But there have also documented many, many cases, and men especially, kasi women, di ba, we're more open, madali, we talk about it and all that. Men, it's not always, they don't always like,
They don't
you
want to
are not
express.
the norm, di
Yeah.
ba? The way that you talk about it. So that's
Yeah.
why you're role modeling it nga for men, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
So, internal, they keep
Yeah.
it, ganyan. So what happens? Months down the road, heart attack.
Yeah.
Or the cholesterol goes up.
Yeah.
Or the sugar goes up. Where before the loss, they were completely like healthy. Diba? Of course, there are many contributing factors. But, yeah, it often happens after a loss.
Alam niyo, marami nagtatanong sa akin, ano bang sikreto ko for my fitness at my age? I'm almost 59 years old. Of course, given ang regular exercise, given na rin ang healthy diet, but not everyone knows that I swear by Sante Barley, and I've been taking Sante Barley for so many years now. Sante Barley is a certified organic and barley grass from New Zealand. At certified ito ng BioGrow. It's good for digestion and strengthens your immunity dahil puno ito ng nutrients at antioxidants. That's why I live for more with Sante Barley. After I lost my Eman, I find myself in a roller coaster of emotions. Like now, we just laughed, right?
Yes.
If you mention anything about Eman in a few minutes, I will begin to cry. Will this go on for a long time, or there's some healing to this as well?
There's no timeline. You make your own. You make your own timeline. There's no timeline for grief.
What
But
does that mean? There's no timeline.
well, some people, like you can still be crying when you hear her name 5 years down the road, 10 years down the road. Whenever you have milestones, di ba? Whenever your other children get married. When you have your first grandchild. So talagang, andyan na yan, di ba? Because your child is a part of you. So just in the same way, like, when you lose a parent, like I lost my dad, I was 16, so that's so many decades ago. But to this day, there are times when I still cry.
Now I have a hole in my heart because I lost my Eman. Would that hole always be there all my life?
I like to see the analogy that we share with people. It's like having an amputation. You've lost a part of yourself. And just like an amputation, when you first have it, it has acute pain. The nerves have been cut. It takes time for that to heal. And then eventually you get fitted with a prosthesis and you begin to learn to walk again. You'll have phantom pain from that amputation.
Phantom
And,
pain means that when it gets kicked, even if the leg is not there,
Yes.
you actually feel your leg.
Right.
Yes.
And that's been studied.
and eventually you'll walk, but with the prosthetic, you're never going to walk exactly the same.
Yes.
Same with that loss. You'll be carrying that loss. But they say you lose that life, but you never lose that relationship. And that's something to hold on to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm holding a cross. This was given to me by a good friend, Whedon King. When he came to the wake, he said, just hold on to this cross. And it's been helping me a lot.
Yes. Holding cross.
It's
Yeah.
called a holding cross.
Holding cross.
Because I was told that, I was doing some reading on it, that squeezing ball,
Yes.
that works for stress. And I find this helpful for grief because whenever I grieve, I just squeeze the cross as hard as I can. And it's not just the ball that I'm squeezing. I know that I'm
Right.
getting my energy from Jesus Christ and his
Right.
death on the cross. And that his strength is made perfect in my weakness.
Yes.
It's I've never been this weak in my life. I've never been this broken in my life, but I've never been so filled with Jesus Christ.
Also.
And His
right?
Spirit. Yeah.
Yeah, because that's like people think it's like it's either joy or it's either grief.
Yeah.
But you can hold both
You can.
at the same time.
For me, it's pain and grief.
Yes.
No, it's pain and peace.
Pain and peace.
The pain is so great.
Oh, yeah.
My whole being is in pain, but I have this peace that defies understanding. I don't understand,
Right.
but I have peace.
Right. Yes.
Well,
Yeah.
like Paul said, when we are weak, he is strong.
Strong.
Amen.
And I've often thought,
Yeah.
the Bible says there's no tears in heaven and that he'll wipe every tear with his own hand.
Yeah.
And so that to me means, I think as I got older,
Yeah.
I was less ashamed of my tears. And it's like, what am I holding on to these tears for? I'm not going to need them when I'm in heaven.
When you're in
Yeah.
heaven, yeah.
They're meant to be cleansing.
Right.
I used to read the book of Job with dread. Whenever I read that book in the Bible, I would say, Lord God, do not make me Job. I pray to God that I do not want to be Job. Let me learn from this book, let me read it, but let it not be, I don't want to be Job. And now that this thing has happened in my life, and this is my nightmare. I have been praying to God for this not to happen for the past 6 years. Every day, morning, evening, noontime, whenever I'd pray, I'd always pray for my Eman. And then this happened. But when I read that book now, I read it from a different perspective.
Yes.
No more fear. I'm reading it from Job's perspective. And the advice of the 3 friends, I take that as all these things that I read on social media about how bad a parent I am. But the ultimate message of that book is what God said at the end. When I seek to understand and I pray to the Lord to give me understanding, because I don't understand, I cannot understand. Because where was I when God was creating the universe? Where was I when He was creating night and day? Where was I when He had the behemoth by His hands? All these things are too great for my mind to, it gives me peace that I know that I don't have to understand.
Yes.
I just need to trust. I know that my God is good. And I know that He loves my Eman more than He loves me.
I think the first chapter of Job is a lesson in grief counseling.
Why?
If you read that book, after he goes through that loss, his 3 friends arrive.
Yeah.
And they sit with him in sackcloth and ashes for a week.
And
They say nothing.
they say
Yeah.
nothing, yeah. And that's good.
And once they start
Yes.
talking,
Oh my gosh, yeah.
what do? They make all these judgments,
Yeah.
misconceptions. That what healed Job was the week when they were just
Just
present,
present.
and then try to fix him.
Yeah.
People can't fix this for you. And some people will misjudge. And colleague of mine in hospice said something which I think is very profound.
Yeah.
There are those who get it and those who don't get it yet.
Yet.
Yes.
Because if they haven't gone through this themselves,
They
they
would
can't fully
They
understand.
would know. I
Yeah.
understand.
And
Yeah.
so we have to we don't have to. We get the opportunity to have grace for those who don't get it
Get
yet.
it yet.
Yes.
Yeah.
And just, it's sort of like the last thing Jesus said on the cross, which I think was his most powerful statement. Father, forgive them. They don't know what they're doing.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because there's so many people who want to console with me, who want to help me, but a lot of them say the wrong things.
It's hard.
Yeah, the intent to help, diba, is there, but yeah, we were just talking about
Yeah,
that in our session last
Yeah,
weekend. It's called the therapeutic third. Let's say you have a room here of
Okay.
30 people.
Yeah.
30 friends.
Yeah.
10 lang dyan talaga ang
tama ang sasabihin.
ang tama ang sasabihin sa'yo. At ang who will always be there for you.
Yeah. But you know what works for me in my grief?
Yeah.
Not being processed. Pagka sinabihan ka ng, kakayanin mo yan, you can do that. Okay ka na, wag mong isipin yan. Because they're there, they want to support me, but that doesn't help.
Hindi. Oo.
Another thing that doesn't help at this point,
Yes.
because my each grief is different.
Yes.
no? I don't like loud noises. I don't like loud people or loud noises. I just want chill.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it's very difficult to be with people that I'm not familiar with. I want to be with people that I know, people I'm comfortable with.
Yes. Yeah.
And how does one, if you have a friend or someone you love that is in grief, what's your tip for those who want to grieve with that person?
Well, iba-iba eh, di ba? I mean, like what you said, you're not, let's use you as the example. You don't like now loud noises,
Yeah.
loud people you're not familiar with.
Yeah.
So, I'm hoping you are good with your boundaries.
Yes.
That you let them know that, sorry, I just can't deal with this right now. I hope you understand, di ba? And kung friend talaga kita, Kim, di ba? Okay, hindi kaya ni Kim to muna ngayon. So, I will just let you be, right? Maybe at some other point in time, you can circle back.
Yeah.
Pero sa ngayon, no, you have to know what your friend needs. And ikaw naman as the bereaved, try to just say it nicely but
I say it
firmly,
nicely naman.
diba?
I say it firmly.
Yeah.
As I have an example because I'm a public person. No? And of course, I have a lot of supporters, a lot of people who love
Yes.
Emma, and a lot of fans. And I'm so thankful to all of them. But sometimes, like I'm in public because I got back to work eh. When I'm in public, someone approaches me, Kuya Kim, condolence. Pa-selfie naman. But it's so hard to smile.
Right.
Because sinabihan mo ako ng
Condolence.
condolence. I want to cry because you said condolence and then
Correct,
pa-selfie naman. So I forced
pa-selfie.
myself to smile.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
But Emma's motto is a little kindness. And I remember what she said, what her motto all the time, a little kindness. That is a perfect time to practice my little kindness.
Yeah.
I force myself to smile.
Right.
But mahirap yun. Kasi
Mahirap yun.
condolence,
yeah.
Kuya Kim, pa-selfie.
Right. Right. So you also have to carve out time, Kim, to retreat from the world.
Yeah, yeah.
Diba? To replenish yourself.
Yeah.
Para, okay, kasi next day, ito na naman, diba? You have work na naman. So,
Yeah.
during this time, your time of mourning, you really must build those
My inner strength.
Yes, your inner strength. And really carve out time na, okay, pahinga muna ako, di ba? Ayoko muna ng tao. Ganyan.
This actually my GMA naman has been very supportive.
I'm
of me.
sure. Yes.
I think of work as therapy. And then mga 2 weeks after Eman passed, I said I'm ready to get back to work. And then I told my boss in news. I said, boss, this is gonna be good for me because I need a routine established. Kim, just rest some more, give yourself time. And people may not understand also. You'll be judged even more to see you working as if nothing happened and then you just lost a daughter. So just give yourself time. So they've been very supportive that way.
Yes.
And I appreciate naman.
Right.
And another good thing that happened when Eman passed, so many friends that I thought have forgotten me. Because during the wake, I saw friends from 30 years ago that just came and still remember our friendship. And so many people that Emma has touched in her 2 years in social media just came and just said thank you. And I'm just overwhelmed with the support that people have been giving me and my family.
Yeah. It's very comforting, di ba? It is
It's very comforting.
Yeah.
Another tip to comfort someone who's grieving, based on your experience.
I think that the key is presence is more
Presence.
important than advice.
Yeah.
That just my daughter went through a couple years ago. She had 3 close friends who she had lost through people had drug overdose and other
3 of
things.
them.
And their family. She said, "What do I say?" And I said, "You don't." It wasn't her friends that passed away, but their relatives. And I said, "You really don't have to say a lot other than I'm here for you," because presence is, I think, the most important thing.
Presence meaning just showing yourself and sitting there quietly.
Right. And I imagine you got comfort just from the presence of those people. They didn't have to tell you anything. Or, my father used to say that the only free thing in this world is advice that people will give you, and most of it's bad.
Yes.
Yeah. Kim, I spoke to 3 other parents who, experience the same type of loss that you experienced with
Yes.
Emma. No?
Yeah.
In fact, one of them is your good friend, Sheila Suntay.
Sheila.
Yes. So
Sheila and Bong. Yeah.
I wrote down, I said, okay, if you had one thing to say to Kim, these are parents who went very, very similar to what you went through. So Sheila said, and I just want to read this for you, daw. Don't carry it alone. The weight of this kind of loss can crush someone in isolation. So encourage yourself to reach out. Support groups are good. And she said, let the love remain. I like this. She said, let the love remain bigger than the guilt. Parents often blame themselves. I should have known. I could have stopped it.
Yeah.
But it's never caused by a single moment or person. Okay? It's the result of unbearable pain that clouded her ability to see hope. That's what Sheila said. So remind yourself that your love for Eman still matters, still exists, and still connects even now. That's from Sheila. And
Thank you, Sheila.
Shamaine and
Noni
Noni
Buencamino.
Buencamino.
Yeah, they're very good friends of mine. Yeah.
Yeah, Kim, your faith will keep you strong. The Lord has prepared you for this tragedy. Watch out for, this is the title of her essay, the title that I gave her essay in the book. Watch out for the collateral beauty of grief. Because there is collateral beauty in grief.
I think another important thing that Cathy and I both have in our lives is we've taken our loss, and they say when you have lemons, make lemonade.
Lemon juice.
So she took her loss and turned it into a career of helping others. And likewise, I lost my father and brother within 2 months of each other to cancer.
Right.
And I'd cared for my dad through hospice the last 3 months of his life.
Yeah.
And it turned my career into the work of hospice and helping others navigate the end-of-life journey. So we can do so many things as Cathy has done with her life and helping mothers who've lost loved ones help navigate that journey.
Yeah.
Finding a purpose through the pain.
Yeah.
Yes. Here, this is the last one from another couple who lost their 18-year-old son. Please tell Kim that through God's grace, after the most devastating event that any parent could experience, we have found peace, gratitude, and joy. I live with the intention to honor Benjamin, that was their son, Benjamin, every day in thought, word, and deed. Our family is open to and in awe of the synchronicities that remind us that he is still with us, just in a different way.
Thank you. Those messages are very comforting. Thank you to the 3. Maraming salamat. I actually get it. I know that Eman's death is not in vain.
Yes.
And I know that a lot of beautiful things, collateral beauty will come out of this.
Yes.
It's beginning to show, actually. Eman, in her 2 years in social media, was in pain, but she didn't show it.
Yeah.
But she was reaching out. And I think the Lord would want me to reach out as well to as many people as I can. This podcast is one of them.
Yes. Yeah.
I'm actually not ready to be podcasting, but I get emotional. But now's the time to do it.
That's part of it.
Yeah, now's the time to do it. And it helps me to be able to express myself. But what advice would you like to give parents like me who are grieving? If there's one most important advice, what would you want to tell them?
Well, in the early days of your grief, and you are in the early days of your grief now, di ba? Just learn how to manage your energies. It's so important. More than time, it's not time management at this point. It's really management of your energies. Your battery will never hit 100. Siguro before Eman, 100%, ganyan.
Yes.
But post Eman, it's gonna be a challenge, and just cut yourself some slack.
So manage your energy.
Energy.
Yeah.
Manage your
Actually, tonight, I asked for permission to go on leave just for tonight.
Okay.
Because I wanted to date my wife.
Oh, good.
Feli was inviting to a dinner. And, I never... Work always took precedence over these dinners. But I told my GMA News, if I can date my wife. And they said yes.
Yeah.
So, yeah, that helps.
Yes, yeah. You'll notice your priorities will change.
Oh, yeah.
Yes. Loss does that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But, another thing that helps me, I visualize silver. When silver is purified from its impurities from dross, it's purified through the fire. And it's put under intense heat like what I'm going through now. But after that heat, the silver becomes so pure for better purpose.
Yes.
And that's what the Lord is doing now. And I get it. I get it. And I'm accepting it with thanksgiving. Always with thanksgiving.
Yeah.
Is it okay if you pray for me and pray for all the parents that are going through the same thing as me?
Sure. Lord, we thank you for this chance to be here with Kim and his followers, and we do pray for the loss. We know that you heal the brokenhearted, that you're close to the hurting, that there's nothing we experience that you haven't already endured. We thank you for your love and your life and your example of compassion, of humility, of healing. We pray for his heart, his pain, that of his family, his friends, all the followers of he and his daughter. We know, Lord, that you're an ever-present help in time of trouble. We know that this is a challenge and that it will continue to hurt, but you will heal, that you will be present. We pray for the purpose of all of this to be an example of others, the courage that he shows to be open with his grief and his tears, that there's nothing to be ashamed of. And we know, Lord, that you wept and that eventually you will wipe every tear from our eye with your own hand.
Okay, thank you guys.
Thank you.
It's been an honor and a pleasure for you to be with you at this time in my life, my family's life. Maraming salamat.
Likewise. Thank you so much.
Appreciate
Thank
it.
you. Isang malaking karangalan.
Take care.
So ayan na naman, isang episode na naman ng Ano Ba Talaga with Kuya Kim. If you like this podcast, merong 5 stars dyan sa taas. Press as many stars as you like. And there's a notification bell also. We upload new episodes every Wednesday. Para just press that bell and you know exactly when we upload. I hope marami kayo natutunan at na-inspire kayo dito sa podcast na to, dito sa aming episode ngayong araw na to. And we'll see you again next week. Maraming salamat for being with me and my family during these very trying times. I love you all. Maraming salamat. God bless and see you soon.
The Pod Network Entertainment. The opinions of podcast creators, hosts, and guests are not necessarily reflective of the official stance of the Pod Network Entertainment, its hosts, or other network programs. The content created by the people behind the podcast is personal and not meant to harm any religion, ethnicity, group, organization, company, or individual.